All right. So the first step in maintaining a saltwater aquarium, like so. So you see this is kind of gnarly. We're going to clean this all up. But first, we need our first step, which is water. Saltwater aquariums need highly purified water, reverse osmosis, highly purified water. This is the system we are using today. This system was used in the past, but needs all new filters. So I'm going to show you how you should clean this every time when changing the filters. So this stuff all gets dusty. Every single one has an O-ring here. You just want to be careful not to damage them. They last really a long time, but sometimes you have to get them replaced. Also have this little water. Also have this little water valve. So there's this little rubber bushing in here. And all I'm going to do is just take this out and clean it. I'm not going to do anything special. Put it back together. And here is why you want to clean this. I mean, that is disgusting. This is where the membrane goes for the reverse osmosis filter. So this stuff all needs to be clean. It's dusty otherwise, so I'm just going to clean it with soap and water. Just going to use this to push my sponge down. And push it back up. A lot of crap. So I saw some guy on YouTube catch a fish with this as his lure. This is definitely long enough for what we need. So I'm just going to use this to kind of work this sponge down where I see some undesirable crap I'd like to clean. Kind of just push it down, scoop it around, and take it out. All right, so now we're going to put everything back together. So starting with our shutoff valve, I believe is what they call this. So that drops in like that. This rubber seal goes over it. And then here's your top. Now the only thing I don't recall, or actually I think I do recall and I got it wrong. Oh, yep, I did. So this piece goes in first, and then this piece goes in. Now it's correct. Now the top goes back on. And your 4 screws. Okay, so it tells you which side is in and which side is out, so you know. So now the clear canister gets the micron filter. And it just screws on like that. So you can use the key that they provide to snug it up, and we're good. So now the other 2 canisters are not see-through. And they each take carbon filters. And make sure that this gasket is facing the top. Or maybe not. Nope. Definitely facing the top. Okay, so now we're set to keep putting it together. So now we take our in valve, or our two-way shutoff valve, and the water coming in goes on the bottom in. And now this is our membrane. This is what goes inside. That's going to go here. And this yellow one goes into the top of your valve. See it? No, but we can turn it around so that you can. So, top of the valve. So we can turn this a little bit like so and put that where it belongs. Okay. So now our membrane comes out. I took this off so it's not in there with my water. And now the O-rings go in. And that is what it's supposed to look like once it's inside. So now our cap here, make sure that O-ring's on or else it's going to leak. But our cap now goes on. So now getting this right is always the challenge, but you can always undo this a bit and then restart it at another position, because you want to make sure this is tight. And we do that with our second keyway, making it snug. Now we can put this down here and figure out the right position for this. Going to be easier to just separate it. Nope. So we're going to go back, and we started it about there. So we're going to start it about here now. Oh, still giving me the same thing. So try it again. Okay, it's giving me that, which is workable at least. So from here, insert that all the way through, and then tighten that line down. Okay, so now this goes into the bottom out. So now we have 4 of our 6 membranes set up. So this is where the water is going to come in from. Goes through filter 1, carbon filter, comes out, gives you water pressure, and goes into our shutoff valve. From our shutoff valve, it goes into our RO membrane, goes through and comes out on the yellow line feed. And now we're going to hook this up to membrane 5 and 6 and finish the setup. So I use one closed, one clear, and this is a reminder of when to change these, essentially. So this does not have any flow markings, so I'm assuming it doesn't matter, but I'm going to put this side as the in and this side as the out. And that's going to go like so. So now I use black as my discard, primarily because they already use black here. So to make it the same, if you will. And now the intake. So the intake, you should add this water valve because it'll help you turn it on and off. And this will help you hook up to your faucet. So I'm going to make that right now. And since I have extra, I'm going to use all that I do have to give myself some leeway in case the next faucet is not so close. So with this type of valve, you kind of just pop that up and insert the tube, and now it holds it in place. So now for the other side, same concept. Just going to pop that up and hold it in place there a little bit. And push that in, and now we're good. And the final piece that goes onto the faucet is very similar. So there we go. So now I just need my discard line, and we're ready to test this out. So now when you test this out, you got to make sure you do it somewhere that things can get wet, because if one of these does not seal correctly, you're not going to have a good day. So, and the one thing I forgot is to put my outline. So I'm going to make that one yellow. So this is fully filtered water, comes out of the yellow hose. Okay, so we have here clean water going in through here. There's our on-off valve. Goes into our first filter, second filter, third filter. Comes up through here, goes into our water valve, into our fourth membrane here. That is the RO membrane. The discard from the RO membrane comes here. So this is water that really doesn't have much filtration and definitely does not have RO filtration. Anything that does have RO comes out of this yellow into the water valve again, comes out and goes into membrane 5, 6, and here is your ultra filtered water for your fish tank. So now we're going to plug this thing in and see how it works. Make sure we have no leaks. So one thing you guys may not have seen me do is this plumber's tape here. So there's a lot of connections that have it already. If I have any leaks, this is where I'm going to start, because I did not do this for all the connections. And we had to move our setup to a place where we can hook up to water. All right, so here we are. We are all hooked up. We have our water valve off, hooked up here to our sink. The black is our discard. The yellow is our good water. We're going to turn the faucet on. See, that has a little bit of a leak. So I'm going to fix that really quick. Okay, so here we are now. Changed our spigot valve over here. Put a new one in that's not leaking. Still not pressurized. And we are going to turn it on now. You can see it's filling. Got no water coming out yet. Don't see any leaks, so that's a good sign. Oh, in case it's not obvious, never put hot water through. Damages all the filters. Well, there we go. We got some discard water coming out. This still hasn't filled up. So waiting on that before we get some clean RO filtered water for our tank. Water pressure is building. Oh. Nope, not yet. Well, starting to see some wetness come through. And there we go. Our beautifully filtered water is now coming through. So I'm going to let this run for about 10 minutes to kind of just clean everything out. And then we're going to make our first batch of RO water for our fish tank.